What's going on, family? Welcome to Everybody's Always Talking podcast. I am part B of your super host team, Robert Ballett.
And I'm Jamila Ballett.
And today we are talking about the closing of the Johnny Depp trial. I'm sure everybody's been watching it, unless you live under a rock somewhere.
It's not the closing today, it's the verdict.
The verdict, my bad. The verdict of the Johnny Depp trial. We've been kind of glued to it like white on rice. We've been kind of glued to it like white on rice, but babe, let's pay a little bit of the verdict, and then we'll go ahead and jump into this conversation. Let's go.
As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
Does either side wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
James?
Members of the jury, if this is your verdict, please answer yes. If this is not your verdict, please answer no. Juror number 6. Yes. Juror number 10.
Yes.
Juror number 15.
Yes.
Juror number 16.
Yes.
Juror number 22.
Yes.
Juror number 27. Juror number 29.
Yes. I do find that the jury's verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your service in this case. I want to thank you again.
So it was unanimous. It was a unanimous verdict for Johnny Depp. So what are we talking about? We're talking about narcissism. That's what this is all going to boil down
What
to.
we're talking about is abuse. We're talking about narcissistic abuse. And thank God this is something that we've been talking about a lot. We've been talking about it a whole lot because I think for the longest people were very ignorant about what abuse is. And they just, people always thought of physical abuse when they thought of abuse. However, as we can see in this trial, I'm glad so many people were watching it because... I think we learned, if you were paying attention, you learned a lot about what abuse is. And whether or not there was physical abuse, some people may say there may have been some on the part of Johnny Depp. There may not have been some on his part. We can debate that.
All day, all
But
night.
there was definitely mental, emotional, according to the evidence, there was abuse of every form.
Correct.
So I'm kind of glad that we're not even really focusing on physical abuse the way people always used to do when it came to abuse, because now we understand, hopefully, that when you set out to destroy somebody's life in every way possible, that's abuse. That's abuse. Okay, so when somebody is emotionally, so emotionally distraught that you suffer trauma, and you will, especially if it is ongoing, that's abuse. That's abuse. When somebody plays mental games with you and plots and schemes to, destroy your reputation, destroy everything that you've worked hard for, whether you've been a great parent, or in this case, obviously with Johnny Depp, he built a great career for himself. He worked hard for that. And I think you don't have to be an actor to be able to understand that it takes a lot to rise to the top in that game, and really in anything in life. So what I saw, one of the things that stood out the most to me about her, well, first let's just talk about the obvious. She's got a lying problem. And narcissists always are compulsive liars. They live in this alternate reality that only exists in their head, and the actual reality is the furthest thing from their mind.
Correct.
They don't understand what that is. They don't care to understand what that is. So you know, it was nobody believed her. Nobody believed her. So when we first started talking about this, I remember it was before I started watching it, and you said something to me about her not being afraid. And because I always got the abused back. I hate to use that term, but it's just so for the sake of this conversation, so that I'm really clear about who I'm referring to. I always have whoever the victim. I don't like to use that word either, quite honestly. I always have their back. So I wanted to have her back and have an experience that myself, which is why I wrote the book Overcome Narcissistic Abuse. It's why I wrote it, because I dealt with it for over 20 years, close to 30 years, and even after you leave them, as you can see, as we saw in the trial, you never really get away from them because they are batshit crazy.
Correct.
Quite frankly.
Correct.
So, I forgot what the point I was getting to. What did I start out saying?
That you was on the abuse.
I wanted to take her side. I wanted to take her side because you said something before I started watching the trial about
she didn't look scared.
Women not, about what I heard was him drawing a conclusion that she wasn't afraid. And I had been accused of that myself. And so I was actually in a court hearing, and that idiot told the judge, she's not afraid of me. She's not afraid of me. So I did not take kindly to those words because, frankly, it was a trigger for me to have someone, because I sat there and listened to the audacity of this bastard, quite frankly, telling a judge that I wasn't, you can't, and that obviously rubbed me the wrong way. Any woman who's ever been in that situation where you have to sit in court with somebody who is just coming at you and constantly launching attacks and lying about you as if you're not there, that's what that comment reminded me of. So then I started to watch the trial, because I believe you can't, if you draw a conclusion and you really haven't watched and experienced something, your conclusion, even if it's right, it's ignorant. Even if you end up being right, you're wrong for drawing a conclusion without knowing, without witnessing firsthand what it is that you're talking about. So as I started to watch the trial, it became very, very obvious who the compulsive liar was, and I really related more to, I think in abuse, a lot of times we look at it like it's the male against female, and I think that has to change. I hope that's the one good thing that comes from this case, because I don't mean to slight anybody. It usually is. Usually the men are the abusers, usually. But that doesn't mean we overlook the cases where they are not, because abuse is abuse and wrong is wrong. And so I hope that this case taught us all to look at where's the truth, to try to find the truth. And try to recognize and learn what red flags are, to be able to identify abusive behavior, abusive tactics, abusive tendencies, so that we're no longer looking at men against women or women against men, but we are looking at dysfunction for what it is. We're looking at hate for what it is, wherever it is coming from, and we place the blame appropriately. When you place the blame appropriately, you're not seeking to tear somebody down. What we're talking about is accountability. So we're not going to cover. I don't believe in covering because it's a woman. I don't believe, taking a side just because somebody is a woman. I listen. And clearly, again, nobody believed her. Nobody believed her. Then I looked at how she was very vindictive. Narcissists tend to be very vindictive. It's not enough for them to get away from you. They will claim you were so horrible. They will claim that you did every horrible thing under the sun to them. And when you get away from them, they still won't leave you alone. And that says a lot. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Then there was the issue where he wouldn't look at her. He wouldn't look at her.
Right.
I'm very observant, and I hope that we all, like I said, I hope that we all were very, very observant and reserved any type of judgments. Because this was really an opportunity to learn a lot. He would not look at her, and she kept looking at him and referring to him as Johnny, and saying, I loved Johnny. And that's not consistent with somebody who was deeply traumatized. And I kind of hesitate to say that because sometimes when there's a trauma bond, that does happen. But that's why you have to look at everything in context and all of her behavior and all of her. When you look at one little thing, you might not be sure, but if you look at everything that she was saying, the lies that she got caught on, the phone calls that she made to the news, to various different news sources at that, more than once, the time where she called 911 and then she called again because her attack, wasn't successful, and, Johnny Depp wasn't arrested and removed from, I think it was their home at that time. If you look at the several incidents, overwhelmingly it says she was extremely vindictive.
She was the provoker.
She wanted to destroy. She was the provoker. She wanted to destroy. There was so many staged photographs. And as I said, the more I watched the trial, I could not relate to her. I related to Johnny Depp.
Yeah, which I think happened.
I related to his his position.
I think one of the things I am most proud of about...
wait, let me just say real quick. I never staged pictures. I never just made up lies. I never said, okay, I was never vindictive, like, oh, I've been hurt, so now, I'm coming after your job, and,
But that's the thing about, when we talk about narcissism and victims and abuse, when you escape your captor, motherfucker, all you want to do is get the hell away.
You just want your life.
Everything.
You want your life back.
Period.
You want your life.
That's it. You don't want no name. You don't want no TVs. You don't want no money. You can have...
And can I say it real quick so you guys remember the movie What's Love Got to Do with It,
Tina
right?
Turner.
I know everybody's seen that. That's Tina Turner's story. Even though that's so far behind her, she doesn't even want to associate with that story anymore. But remember that scene where... Remember, this was a true life story. She said, I don't want anything but my name. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah.
That's what happens when you are tired of somebody putting your whole damn life through the ringer and trying to destroy every good thing that you have, every relationship that you have, doing their best to isolate you so that you really just... I mean, let's be honest. A lot of people commit suicide because of relationships like this, or they have tried.
Absolutely.
Okay, and may even have several failed attempts. Because the way that it cripples you emotionally, mentally, and psychologically, is like you can't see. You can see when somebody actually is on crutches, but you can't see psychological crippling.
Correct.
But that's what's happening to you.
Correct. 1,000%.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. I think
so.
I think this kid...
I don't see Johnny. I did not see anywhere in that trial that Johnny was trying to destroy her life. I didn't see that. And what I saw too, also, when they played recordings of arguments, I heard her always deflecting. No matter what he said, even if she admitted for a moment what she had done, that she had physically attacked him, hit him, whatever, she still would immediately deflect and then project the blame onto him for what she did. That's classic. That is narcissism 101. Never accountable for anything. Correct. They never did anything wrong.
Correct.
Never.
Correct.
But I'm just amazed. You claim you love him. Oh my God, you just love this man so much. So then, I wish I could ask her, if you loved him so much, that had to be based on some very good things, right? Okay, So why? So then please explain why every time y'all had an argument, it's like they're two people. Mm-hmm. It's like they're literally two people. They're trying to say you did this and you did this and you did that. It was you, and I'm not to blame for anything. And I loved you so much. It just doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. It makes no damn sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I think one of the main issues that I definitely want to highlight, and I think I'm gonna cover this on one of the Man Cave Mondays because it's something that we don't talk about a lot. But I'm happy that Johnny Depp
spoke up,
not just filed the defamation case, but that in his position he was brave enough and bold enough to say, "Hey," and I'm gonna coin this phrase, "Me too," because it's something that men don't talk about a lot.
And quite frankly, a lot of women don't talk about it too.
Correct.
Quite frankly, a lot of women keep quiet, behind closed doors.
Amber, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say it. Yes, it's very. I'm glad that he spoke out.
Right. Amber Heard said
he spoke up.
Amber Heard said, and I'm not going to paraphrase this. This is just based upon memory. Yeah, Johnny, who's going to believe you? You are a victim of domestic violence. And that is why men keep their fucking mouth shut.
Women too.
No. You're right, women too. But there is no safe house for a man. There is no safe house. There is nowhere to go for a man. A man tells his friend gonna be like, "Nigga, wake up. Come on, you ain't going through that." As a matter of fact, I got a great freaking example. Decades ago, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just meant to make sure we don't. What are you doing? That we don't turn this into a men against women conversation.
No.
That's all.
No. I'm not trying to turn it.
That's all. Because quite frankly, there are a lot of women who don't speak up. Because they're very intimidated.
Right.
I've heard everything from he has an attorney, I can't afford an attorney, and literally they feel very, they just feel so broken that they don't act. Mm-hmm. They just don't act. I've heard stories of, he got my daughter molested. His friend molested my daughter when she was with him. Mm-hmm. I'm
not turning this into a men against women thing. I'm just trying to clarify the point of abuse. And I think he set something in motion that we often overlook. Because at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's about who's ever being victimized staying quiet. They need to speak up.
Exactly.
They need to speak up.
Exactly.
That was the point I was coming back to. But I'm saying him because this is the case. He filed a defamation case against a woman who seemed to be plotting against him from day one or very early on in their relationship because he seemed to be one of the nice guys. And unfortunately, what they say, nice guys always finish last.
Well, this is why I always say to women, don't keep their secret. Don't keep their secret. If you're already in an abusive relationship, you are already in, it feels like hell on earth. So if you think about the fact that you're waking up to that every day and you've been doing it for months, usually years, a lot of times decades, you can face anything. But what happens is when you don't want to say anything and you don't want to speak up, the secrecy kind of protects them. Mm-hmm. It kind of protects them, and they are able to just keep going. Think about it. Would anybody have spoken up on behalf of Johnny Depp before he filed the suit? No, because they didn't know anything. Nobody heard his side. Mm-hmm. Nobody heard his side. So when you keep that secret and you're exposed, it's like you're enabling them. You don't mean to do that. Of course you don't mean to do that, and you're not doing it on purpose. But they are banking on you not saying anything. Mm-hmm. Because usually the more decent person, the more respectable person does not want to air their dirty laundry. They don't want people to know their personal business. They do feel embarrassed. A lot of times they feel like I'm a failure because I'm doing everything I can do in this relationship, And it's still horrible. It's still horrible. I don't understand. They're at their wits' end. So what happens is, if you don't speak up, then it keeps the lie of who he really is hidden. And it keeps it safe, and it keeps it protected.
I don't care what we say. Male, female. If you keep any of this shit secret, nobody fucking knows. That's the bottom line. I've been through that shit before. I've been through it for decades where I kept shit quiet, and all around, the whole world is pointing at two individuals when it's one person's fault. One person is antagonizing, one person trying to destroy the relationship. So I was coming from a perspective of, I get it. It's about the victim. A woman should never stay quiet, and if you're going through it, you shouldn't stay quiet. You shouldn't feel embarrassed, and that's the point that I wanted to just touch on. I'm happy he said that, because I'm hoping that in all these cases, male or female, you don't feel embarrassed. You don't feel scared.
But you will.
And you may have a moment for it. But
you won't have a lot of moments.
But get out of it.
Embarrassed.
Get over yourself. And get help. Get help. This whole thing is sad, because my wife said it before. You got people committing suicide. You got people murdering people because they stay quiet for so long and something inside their brain snaps. And so that's the topic of conversation.
What we're really talking about is she was bullying him. She really was bullying him for the longest. Mm-hmm. I found it very interesting how everybody that had something that they asked said that he was, I know him, I've worked with him, I'm his friend. He's just the sweetest, most gentle guy. Mm-hmm. And it usually is in these relationships, somebody who has such a good heart that they'll do anything to not have problems. They will do anything to not have drama, and that's what they're banking on. Then I wanted to state this too. So this is the thing, this is one of the main things that is so disgusting about how selfish narcissists are. And the thing that makes them dangerous is that they literally care about no one. They literally don't care about anyone. So for the longest now, women have fought and fought to be heard, okay? To just be believed. Women who were actually being abused, actually being sexually harassed. And so what she did was expose her true character. And her character is this. I can just exploit anything. Mm-hmm. I can exploit anything in any body. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The fact that I'm disgracing a whole movement and decades and literally centuries of women being violated and not receiving justice. The fact that she can publicly document something that was not even true just to put herself on a daggone pedestal, to make herself look like a good guy, which is what they always do. They have to make somebody a victim in the process in order to look like the good guy. And they have no conscience about the things that they do. Whatever they feel they need to do, they're just going to do it. They don't have a moral compass. So she really just disgraced. She made it hard also for any women who may want to come forward in the future, because they already were having such a hard time proving their cases in a court system that doesn't understand abuse. Mm-hmm. They profit from abuse. Mm-hmm. And usually justice is not served. And I'm talking to women all the time who are backing me up on this and telling their stories of, and I'm experiencing it. And I'm still going through this bullshit because they're sick in their freaking heads. They don't care whose time they're wasting. They don't care if they're pushing you to the edge, to your breaking point, to a nervous breakdown, to possibly a heart attack. They don't care if they divide your entire family. They don't care. If they don't care if they actually want to do that. That's their goal, is to make you look so terrible that nobody wants to have anything to do with you. They are usually very jealous, very envious. See, they know how to speak in such a way where they don't look so bad, but this is why you have to really pay attention to who they are. What are they showing you? Where do you see consistent red flags, toxic behavior? She knew how to say Johnny was a powerful man. He's a powerful man. This is all manipulation. This is to manipulate everybody listening, so that they would think, of course, oh yeah, this is another woman. We better believe, we don't want to do this to another woman. We better believe her. And she talked about how powerful he was, but I'm telling you what goes on in the mind of a narcissist while they're saying something that sounds harmless and nice. What they're thinking is, I'm going to be the one to destroy that shit. That's what they're literally thinking. And if you don't believe it, go back and watch the daggone trial. That's all she was ever trying to do. That's all she was ever trying to do. She was not trying to get away to be safe. She was not trying to get help. She was not trying to get him to get any type of help whatsoever. She was trying to take everything in his life and use it against him to hang him. Now, the only reason she didn't get away with this, like a lot of people do get away with it, was because all of a sudden a narcissist had to face her worst nightmare: accountability. And in a trial, you can't run from accountability, because it's too many people's jobs to make sure they dissect everything you ever said, everything you ever freaking did, and to find witnesses who can attest to whether or not this actually happened or did it not happen. So this is why narcissists run from conversations. This is why you can't talk to them about their behavior. It doesn't matter how you approach them. It doesn't matter if you walk on eggshells, if you come to them sweetly in love, if you personally accept and admit blame and take responsibility for anything. It makes no difference, because they need to avoid and project in order to stay in their little safe, in their little safe world of denial. And you can't do that in a trial. True. You don't have time alone with people in a trial in order to be able to get in their heads and manipulate them the way you want to manipulate them, so that you gain from that. So this is why is narcissistic abuse or abuse from any form is so successful in a family, because they are always able to get to people and get in their heads. You can't do that in a trial. You really can't do that, because there's too many safeguards to make sure that you can't.
That the case stays on track. Yeah.
So I was very happy. I was very happy for Johnny Depp, because I felt like finally a narcissist, an abuser, got what the hell she deserved. And wrong is wrong. I personally know that pain. I don't wish that on any daggone body. I always speak up for women because that's my heart, right? Doesn't mean I want men to be hurt. It doesn't mean I want men, their families, their children, these relationships to suffer and not for them to not be in each other's lives, because that's what these evil bastards do, quite honestly.
Yeah, very true.
Be encouraged, though, because, listen, you can't do anything about sowing and reaping. Their time comes. It does come. It does come. Be encouraged. Hang in there. It does come. They do end up hanging themselves. They do.
Yeah, for real, yo.
They do.
Every dog has his day. Every dog has his day. I think there's so many different nuggets that went on in this trial. You could talk about it for weeks and days, but at the end of the day, male or female, it's about the victim. It's about the victim, and it is about the victim having the courage to stand up. That's it. The courage to stand up. 1,000%. We'll jump into the male factor later.
So no matter what, I just feel like a lot of times, these situations can make you feel so hopeless and so weak and so broken. But if you can take it day by day and literally fight, and you have to fight. You have to fight. When I say fight, I don't mean you become the narcissist yourself and you start launching attacks. And no, maintain your integrity. Keep your integrity intact. It passes.
Absolutely.
It passes.
Absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000%. Get help.
At the end of the day, you really can't. She destroyed her own career in the process. Her goal was to destroy his career.
Yeah.
I think she helped his career.
Yeah.
I think she helped his career because that man is adored.
Yeah.
Nobody had anything negative to say about him.
Fall in love with him all over again. Yeah.
Because everybody was rooting for him. Because they saw it clear as day.
Yeah.
And I hate that a lot of times most of the women that I talk to, they don't get a trial. They get these little hearings. And judges don't usually take all the facts into consideration.
No, they don't.
They don't.
No, they don't. This is a very
They know. They
case.
make a judgment. That's it. Print out the paperwork. Done.
The average
Task complete.
The average court case that the people we're talking about goes through is paperwork that gets put in front of a judge with 20,000 other cases.
And there's no trial.
There's no objective.
It's not usually a trial.
Listening. It's the judge thinking, who's complaining more, who complained first, and I don't like her, so I'm going to give it to him. Unfortunately. That's our court system.
I mean, the judge is supposed to be objective.
It's impossible for them to be with the amount of caseloads that they have. This was a very specific thing where the judge was assigned.
I wouldn't say it's impossible. I wouldn't say it's impossible. Something needs to happen. Something needs to be done.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times people go to court and, it further damages them psychologically and their family, children included. Let's talk about that because that's the truth. That's the truth. A lot of people think, okay, I'm going to go to court and I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell my side because what's happening in your life is without question abuse, disgusting, wrong, and unjust. And a lot of times people leave the courtroom with their lives even more upside down than they already were. Think about the cases where, and I've experienced this. This idiot keeps, filing motions that are frivolous. Nothing. Literally. And there's nothing documented. There's no court document showing that I've ever violated anything, that I've ever denied anything, any visitation, nothing like that. There is absolutely no proof whatsoever because it's not true. It hasn't happened.
Right.
And yet, one of the judges in the beginning said to me, and this was after I filed for the divorce and got the divorce, thank you, Jesus. And one of the judges said to me in the beginning, if you two can't co-parent, I'm going to suggest counseling. It's like, a lot of times these judges are idiots. So it was nice to see justice served. Yeah. It was. Because you can't force somebody to be a mature adult.
No, you cannot.
A court can't force someone to be a mature adult. No court order can force someone to be a mature adult. It's just like police officers. They enforce the law. Can they force anyone to obey the law? Absolutely not. They're powerless. They have no authority where that's concerned. And courts is the same daggone thing, same system. Same system. So you can send me to counseling if all you freaking want. That's not the damn problem. That's not the problem. But we can't talk about the fact that some people are just vindictive assholes that won't move on because they don't value their own lives, and so all they can do is try to destroy your life, because when they look at your life, they really see something better. That's the truth. So, you know, I was happy. I was almost in tears when I saw the verdict. I felt like he was going to win. I wonder if we all probably felt like he was going to win.
Yeah, I think so.
Listen, the one thing about narcissists don't believe in taking an L. They don't. You know how the rest of us understand that sometimes in life things will go your way and sometimes they won't. And you keep it pushing, you know, and you keep doing your best, and that's that. And you live a good life. You live a life as honest as possible. They don't think like that. They don't believe in taking an L. If you freaking left me, if I can't control you no more, if I can't bully you no more, if I can't put my hands on you no more, now I gotta start let's see, you got a career, let me try to destroy that. Let's see, you love your kids, let me make sure your kids freaking hate you. They evil as all fuck, quite honestly. They are. And so, you know, I always want to encourage people, let you know, we see it for what it is. There are a lot of us who do understand. So when you meet other people who've been through the same thing, whether it's social media, no matter what it is, it could be a Facebook page, no matter what it is. If you try to talk to somebody, if you get professional help, go ahead and get professional help. Do something to take care of you.
Absolutely.
Because you can be so depleted, so exhausted, so damn stressed out. And to me, this is another thing that proves they don't even care about their kids. Because if you know somebody's raising your kids, that's where your kids live, and your kid depends on that person, why would you try to destroy their source? Knowing, you know it's going to affect your kids.
You're selfish.
So, you know, I've been asked this question a lot. Do narcissists care about their kids? No. No, narcissists don't care about their kids. And that, y'all need to hear this and understand. You protect your damn kids. Those are your kids, but I want you to protect and take care of yourself as well and set boundaries. And again, no, this is not men versus women. I love when men join our conversation about what they've been through and they don't feel the need to point out, hey, it happens to men too. I love when they just join the conversation because they understand the message. The message is the message. It doesn't have a gender. It doesn't have a gender. It just doesn't. It's disgusting. Grown men hurt, okay? You're human. Grown women hurt. And even the courts is like, oh, take it. What about the kids? What about the kids? What about the kids? But if mommy is falling apart and mommy kills herself, how do we she doesn't matter, right? She don't matter. So we gotta put all the pressure on the men. You get nothing but freaking pressure and no consideration for what you need. If 2020 didn't teach us anything else, I hope it taught us that our mental health cannot be put on the back burner. It has to be a priority. It has to be a priority. It has to. It's that simple. It's that damn simple. And listen, when you meet somebody and stuff don't seem right, don't be afraid to lose a person. Don't be afraid to lose a person. I know sometimes it's easier said than done, but don't be afraid to lose a person. Be afraid of losing your damn self. Because you feel like you're dead in these relationships. You literally feel like you're dead. You feel like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how this is going to end. Amen. That's how you literally feel all the time. And yet they will keep pushing and keep pushing and keep provoking and keep provoking and keep provoking. And I wonder a lot of times when we've seen cases that have become very violent, I wonder if the person who was violent was actually the aggressor.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I wonder.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, sometimes it's retaliation from all these.
Because sometimes it's reactive abuse. So that's another reason why I'm not, this case wasn't, the goal of the case was there defamation? Was there actually intentional defamation? Because, we could honestly say there was abuse, different forms of abuse on both sides. But then I feel like we got to talk more about reactive abuse too. A human being can only take but so damn much.
Amen.
A human being can only take so. Part of the smear campaign about me has been, oh, she was violent. I make no freaking apologies for the moments where I was so freaking fed up, I lashed out. I make no freaking apologies for that. I don't, because a human being can only take but so damn much. And guess what? Don't underestimate these narcissists at all. Because if you get fed up to the point where you harm yourself, they still gonna talk about you. You will be dead, buried under the freaking ground in your damn grave. They will be happy and they will be talking about you saying, see, still acting like they didn't play a part in that. The only reason I say that is because I really want overcomers, I'm not going to call y'all victims, to get to the point where you stand up for your own damn life and you put your foot down and you value the hell out of your damn life. I want you to understand, in their eyes, your life doesn't have any value. This woman did not care if this man ever acted again. He had been acting for decades. He has a very good career for himself. Longevity from the time he was a little kid. Literally, a little freaking kid. And she didn't care. She didn't care if she took away everything.
No, she didn't.
So the thing I want everybody to get, the point I want everybody to get to is where you start fighting for your life. Stop fighting for a dead end street with a hateful person and start fighting for your daggone life. Yeah. And so once again, Johnny Depp, you got all our respect for fighting for your damn self, and that's very empowering.
Amen.
That's very empowering. Whether you got millions or not, when you stand up for your damn self and you fight for yourself and you back down and you hold your shoulders back and you let them know, listen, I'm not who the fuck I used to be. Take your best shot. Take your best shot. You want to destroy yourself in the process? Go right ahead. Go right ahead. But something has to shift at some point, and that's what we saw. That's what we saw in Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp took it for a long time, and all of a sudden he said, I'm done. I'm done. And so many of us know that day and that point of, I'm fucking done. I'm done. I'm not playing with you. No more. I trust God to have my back, but I also know God did not make me a little mouse. He did not make me a little freaking mouse. So whatever comes my way, I'll be fine. I can deal with it. You think that had to be hard? Maybe that's why he didn't show up for the verdict. It had to be hard.
Well, they say he was playing overseas in his rock band.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's true. Well, good for him. Good for him.
He was partying like a rock star.
Good for him.
He was partying like a rock star. God bless him.
Good for him.
God bless him. Yeah, he deserves it. I mean, in this case...
And to anybody who thinks, oh, well, he was a drug addict, listen, that does not mean somebody gets to destroy your damn life and abuse you.
Yeah.
Right is right, wrong is wrong. Yeah. And human beings have this very destructive habit of justifying anything. If I can find fault with you, then whatever happens to you, good for you. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Because ain't nobody without freaking fault, spot or stain. Nobody. Nobody's without fault. No one. And a lot of y'all, let's be honest. Maybe you never did drugs. Maybe you was promiscuous.
Truth. Well.
It's still destructive behavior. It's still destructive. So we really want to point the finger. Let's not be like the daggone narcissist. And let's start looking at our own selves, because we can't control somebody else. But we can make sure that we are not that toxic, poisonous person. And that is not something that we're leaving behind when we leave this world. That's not a legacy that you want to leave behind. She tarnished her own daggone name. Her own daggone name, when she could have left peacefully. That's it. Marriage didn't work out. I'm good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's crazy how many times, we know you walk away saying, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. I just want the rest of my life, and I just want freaking peace. And they will hate you for that too. Anyway, I'm done. We're gonna go back into the same conversation.
That's it.
But we wanted to have a real talk about.
Well, my wife covered everything, y'all. She covered everything. There's nothing to add or take away. She covered everything. I think it's a very important case. I think it's something that I think it's something we have to have a conversation about, because a victim is a victim, and it's time for everybody to step up. And I think the issue.
Men don't cover for men, and women don't cover for women. It's wrong.
The word abuse is a very small word that has a bunch of meanings to it. In human life, we take abuse as you being punched or slapped. And abuse can be very, very quiet and very, very subtle.
Very sneaky, very calculated.
Sneaky. And in some cases, abuse can come across to the world like the person loves you, and behind the scenes, like, the motherfucker don't love me. He tearing me down every chance he gets. So I think it's a big topic. But anyway,
if you find yourself thinking people don't know who he is behind closed doors, people don't know who she is behind closed doors, that's something to pay attention to.
It's something to pay attention to. Oh, absolutely. 1,000%.
And if you don't pay attention to it,
1,000%. And I say this too. I think, unfortunately, a lot of people are in church services and are abused mofos, because the religious church is founded on, I'm gonna tell you what the hell to do, but I'm gonna do something different behind the scenes. And so we can lift our hands in service, but then be disrespectful.
I'm gonna say, I'm a woman of God, and or man of God, and I just love everybody. And then within my own family,
correct,
you're a sinner.
Correct.
So I'm gonna divide my own damn family.
Correct.
Put somebody down.
Correct.
Make sure control whether or not that person gets love, because I have deemed them unworthy because of their sin.
Correct. Abuse, and so the
anytime you think that you have a right to control somebody else's life.
Correct. I mean, you. I mean, there's 1,000 scenarios that I'm playing over in my head. It's a big topic. This is one part. This is a small part of a very big plate, of a very big platter. When a husband and wife goes to church, the concept is he's the head and you're not. That thought process is wrong, because a wife can't submit to the head if the head ain't submitted to God.
Yeah, exactly.
And if the man is submitted to God, he doesn't rule with the iron fist.
Well, the thing is, if it's all
he learns to
ego,
serve.
If it's all ego, he's gonna dominate. There's no headship. There's no actual headship.
Correct.
It's not.
Because
it's a male.
You can't serve and have ego. You can't serve and have ego at the same time. You can't. One is going to play a lot louder than the other. But that's a different topic for a different day. I think you said. I think you said enough. I mean, not enough. I think you said it all. And to add to it, we'll be going into a whole different direction. But y'all in church, be mindful. I ain't saying stop going to church. I'm saying learn what abuse is.
Listen, there needs to be accountability everywhere.
Across the board.
Everywhere.
Across the board, yo. Period. So anyway, back to Johnny Depp. Salute to Johnny Depp. He deserves it. I'm sure she's gonna file a countersuit, but it don't matter. It don't matter.
It really doesn't.
Anyway,
it really would not matter. But since you brought that up, yeah, this stuff usually does freaking continue because they can't take an L.
Of course.
They can't take an L.
Of course.
Even though she deserved it.
Of course. Yeah.
Even though it was fair for her to take the L in this case, that's how they are. Yeah. They keep going.
Yeah, her argument.
They keep freaking going.
Her argument now was that
because now they're more angry.
Correct.
And they have something that has fueled their vindictiveness. So they usually keep going.
Yeah, they're gonna keep going.
They usually just keep
she's gonna keep going.
And this is why I say, just listen. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you are caring for your own mental health needs. And don't worry, they're gonna hang themselves.
Yeah, for real, yo.
Don't worry, they're gonna hang themselves. Don't stoop to their level.
Yeah, for real, yo.
The good old saying, don't stoop to somebody else's level. Live by that. Live by that. Because I'm telling you, they could easily, if they get you emotionally riled up, which is what they're always doing, then they can easily pull you down to their daggone level. And then all of a sudden you're an old lady and they have your quality of life has been trash because you were so, I was going to say entangled, because you spent so many years just trying to survive. So see it for what it is. Don't ever allow anybody to have such a hold on you that they rob you of your power. And now you're not living the life that you were created to live because you're really just trying to survive until one day you die. Yeah. Don't let them have that.
Yeah, don't let them have
Don't let them have that.
Don't let them have that, yo.
Live your best damn life.
Amen.
Live out loud.
Amen.
And whatever they're saying, let them freaking talk. That's what bitches do.
For those of you who don't know, my wife has the book on Amazon.com, www.amazon.com. Overcome Narcissistic Abuse. Y'all go ahead and cop that book. Check her out on TikTok, Most Beautiful Inc. Instagram, Most Beautiful Inc. YouTube, Most Beautiful Inc.
And by the way, this is, it's kind of a small victory because that stuff leaves you with some issues.
Oh, absolutely.
It leaves you with some issues. So we pray
nobody really
absolute best for Johnny Depp.
Yep.
Bible tells me says that we should pray for our enemies. I pray for Amber too. That's a sick woman.
Yeah. I mean, in general, my heart is never to have anybody freaking, who knows?
But the trauma is real.
Mofos snap and start killing people these days. So I pray for every damn body.
Exactly. Trauma is real. So it's not going to be an easy road for him because he won. He married this woman. He spent over a decade with this woman. This whole trial was very public. So just continue to keep him in his prayers because healing is a journey. We got to talk about that one day. Healing is a journey. It's not like I'm healed. Yay. Now I'm in a field of daisies skipping around every single day. It's a journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Yeah. It's a journey. Y'all, thank you guys. Thank you once again for checking another episode of Everybody's Always Talking podcast. Most Beautiful Inc. on Instagram, Most Beautiful Inc. on TikTok, Most Beautiful Inc. on YouTube. Check us out, Robert and Jamila on YouTube, on Facebook, the Power Couple Movement. Hey, we love you guys. Thank you, Johnny Depp. Lord have mercy. Everybody always talking.
I got something to say. Hey! You got something to say. Hey!